up, everybody? Big Herc 916, getting down fresh out. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, represent, and go pick you up a bar of soap and wash your ass. Go to freshoutseries.com. I'm here with my homie Daniel, kicking some game. We chopping it up, telling some stories. And Daniel, man, I know, man, shit, you go back, man, from the old school, and I know you've seen some crazy shit, man. What's something you'd want to share with our viewers that's, pretty crazy that, a lot of these cats out here, they don't realize how serious the game is, man, or how thick it can get in the hood. What's something that comes to mind, man?
I think a message that, and there'll be a message embedded in the story that don't ever consider all your homies your homie, or a good friend. Growing up in the neighborhood, for the most of us, we all knew each other. We went to school together. We were in basketball teams together growing up, and whatever. And we ended up, getting into neighborhood shit at a very young age, And I got into my neighborhood in 1992. I was only 10 years old. I was a little boy. I didn't know what I was doing, or I didn't fathom the whole political aspect of what I was getting myself into at that time. But yeah, I had a good friend. He was older than I was at the time. He was probably about 7, 8 years older than me. And back then, I guess our mindset that was a lot. We used to dress different. You knew which homies had money. You knew which homies were somebody. And I had he used to mentor me a lot, and he was real cool. And he ended up going against the grain, for something that they were trying to push on us, our neighborhood. And he fought back, and said that he wasn't going to go along with whatever they were trying to push on us. And he ended up getting got, bro. They ended up partying with him, kicking it with him, and got him all loaded and threw him off the freeway. And he survived that part, and they ended up going down there and dragging him and throwing him into several more cars, and what was crazy about it is that the people involved, they all died anyways. They had passed away a while back, but they ended up paying for his funeral, and that was a trip. When I was younger, I was like, damn, like it really made me look at this shit. We all grew up together, and the homeboy, he gets killed by these other dudes that we called homeboys, and they paid for his funeral. Like, how does that shit work, But it makes you really, you never know who. These are people we ate together, like we consider them like, well, we would introduce each other. Hey, this is my cousin. It wasn't really my cousin, but it's like, that's how close you think you are to somebody. Like in the game, once you get to a certain level, it's treacherous, bro. And it's really like, I don't want to say every man for himself, but money changes people. Money changes people. Dope addiction changes people. So these youngsters, I think they're having a good old time selling dope, or they think they're in a car with some righteous homeboys that got their back just because they have it blasted on them. Not everybody's your homie. The one that, once you get up to a certain level, the one to take you out is going to be that guy in that car with you. It's going to be that one you're calling your primo, and he isn't your cousin. It's going to be that homeboy that kicking it with you and your lady. You guys are double dating. It's going to be him, and he's going to have to do it. Because if he doesn't, he's going to get got. Who do you think? You think he's going to die for you? Nah, he's not. So I just, it's a good friend that I lost a lot of good friends like that. It sucks, but
Do you think that when you get to a certain point, like almost like, people see you start like kind of you've kind of advanced, and maybe you're maybe on a more righteous path, but you're doing your thing, that you have that jealousy among people who saw you one way and they see you changing for the better, but because they're not changing, they want to keep you where they're at, and it's like almost like a reactionary thing, like, oh, F that dude, man, he think he all that, boop, 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 bop, and they see you, they like, and the homie's like, hey, man, you doing good, but they're like, man, like they hold some type of weight, and it's like, You know, why is he tripping? You know, I mean, he gets drunk, he gets to talking slick. You're like, dang, where'd that come from? I thought we were cool. I thought, you know, we were family. That dude, I done broke bread with you and stuff, and now that's how you really feel? Because, you know, you got to be careful. Like you said, some of these dudes, you know, you're thinking they cool, but the whole time, they want to be you. You know, what they want you, your car, they want your girl, they want, you know, they want to be you, but they don't want to say that. But, you know, you're just being you, but they want to be you.
Yeah. I had a, you know, it's sad to say, bro, you know, I had an incident happen recently. This is about a month ago. You know, I was eating, I always go eat at different restaurants by myself or with my kids or whatever. And I'm at a table and I see a couple, there's like 4 gentlemen, you know, they look all banged out or whatever. They're in their late 20s, maybe mid 30s, maybe. And one of the gentlemen, you know, makes his way around the table and he's coming around my way. So, you know, either he knows me from YouTube or whatever, or maybe I tagged him before, or he's with some shit, you know. So I'm preparing myself, you know, whatever. And he goes, hey, can I talk to you? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And so he starts talking to me, and I'm like, hey, have a seat, you know. If you're going to talk to me, if you're going to keep standing up, then I'm going to take it as a threat. You know, so he sits down, he starts talking to me, and I'm not going to say where he's from. But he ends up spilling all this vomit on me, like not throwing up literally, but in a mental sense. Like he starts telling me about, I guess back in the days how. Oh no! First he tells me, "Hey bro, you know I see you all over the place, you know, on YouTube, and you're talking about, you know, positivity, and I just want to know, homie, where are you at right now? Because I know you like this, and now I see you on all these channels, and you're like this, and you're saying that you're positive, but I remember you when you got off the car and you came and banged on me, and I was with 2 homeboys, and you didn't even give me a chance to talk. I couldn't say nothing. You got off your car, and supposedly he said a while back that I had banged on him. He was walking down the street, and I ran up on him, and I was in their face, you know. He said, you told me to lift up my shirt, and I didn't even get a chance to say my neighborhood and all this and that, and you were just on me, and you know, and now you're like this, and you're all over, and supposedly you're positive. Like, are you really that positive person? And he starts crying, bro. He started crying, and I'm like, damn, this dude's really going through some shit. You know, he's really going through some shit. And you know, I told him, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm from my neighborhood. I'm always gonna be from my neighborhood. You know, I have a different mindset now. You know, I take care of my children. Now I see the bigger picture of protecting my community or really working towards a goal. I see a lot of stuff that's being done to our people, and so now I want to help the community. If I was like that back then, you know, or whatever, hey, my apologies, homie, but when you get into a neighborhood, you know how it is. You know, you're with the business. You know, what do you want me to say? You know, you want me to feel bad for you? I can't. You know, you got into a neighborhood, and if you project yourself to that standard or whatever, hey, props to you, homie. You know, then you're really about it. You know, what do you want me to say to you? And he was just like, he didn't know what to say. You know, he was just like, you know, I'm like, when you get older, homie, I don't know how old you are, but I'm not even gonna ask you. But when you get older, you go through stages and levels in your life, homie. I consider it every like 5 years. Every 5 years, you know, you go through different, where you see things different. You start dressing different.
That's right.
You know, now you want to take care of your health. Now you're about your kids. But it takes experiences. It takes wisdom. It takes for consequences, trials and error, you know, to not repeat things. You know, you'll drive yourself insane if you think you're going to go gangbang on every dude out here and try to put your neighborhood on the map. You're going to fight the whole world, homie. You're not going to win. There's always somebody younger trying to prove themselves, trying to make a name for themselves. You can't fight the whole world. I can't fight every guy that's checking out. If I had a girl, a fine-ass girl, I can't fight every guy that's checking her out. So take it as a compliment, homie. You're with a fine-ass girl, cool. Be with her. You know, don't fight the dude that's if he becomes disrespectful, hey, handle that. You know, but I was just trying to get him to see, and he was just in his feelings, you know.
Yeah, that's deep, man. I mean, you know, and I think a lot of people find it hard because, like, it's crazy. Like, I only got a handful of people I even grew up with that I can still talk to because a lot of people don't want to, like, oh, you know, he's on some different time. Which, you know, like you said, we change. I wasn't the same when I was 15. I wasn't the same when I was 20. You know, when I got the feds, it's like I've evolved, and I'm looking back at life now differently, man. You know, I don't. like you said, when you were young, I was ready to, I was Superman. I'm not saying I'm not Superman, but I'm not going to be, I rationalize things differently, and I look at things from a different perspective now. Just, as a more mature male, looking at life.
Right.
So I feel you on that, man. I'm, it's one of the reasons why I kind of share these life lessons to try to help the youngsters see a bigger picture.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that same. You're supposed to evolve. That's the whole purpose of growing. Is evolving. So, hey, Big Herc 916 getting down with Daniel, fresh out. You tired of smelling like stanky butt, funky armpits? Wash your ass. Go to freshoutseries.com and pick you up a bar of soap.